Look around the room for a moment. Do you see people who look more attractive than they previously have? Are some dressed nicer this week? Do you see anyone with a new hairstyle? These people are trying to practice what they learned this past week. If you're one of the people we've just described, congratulations. In your reading this last week, you learned the policy of radical honesty. Reveal to your spouse as much information about yourself as you know, your thoughts, feelings, habits, likes, desires, past history, daily activities, and future plans. Then the author subdivided the policy into 4 subheadings for easier assimilation. Under the heading of emotional honesty, we discussed the positive as well as the negative aspects of life events in conjunction with our feelings, beliefs, and reactions to them. Under the heading of historical honesty, we tell our story, including our history, triumphs, setbacks, frustrations, and weaknesses. Under the heading of current honesty, we share with our spouses our daily schedule and events. And under the heading of future honesty, we share with our spouses those things that involve the future for us and especially for our spouses. How did viewing honesty from these 4 perspectives impact your understanding and application of radical honesty with your spouse? Have you noticed that every week just before we began the sharing session, your facilitators ask a question or two, usually from the student handbook? That's not an arbitrary action they take. They're doing exactly what we train them to do. There are several important reasons they do so, but here are 2 of the reasons. First, it provides a layer of motivation to you to get your homework done. Second, it gets your mind in gear for the subject matter in the sharing session. Consequently, please take seriously completing all of your homework in order to maximize your growth in the class and the growth of everyone else too. In a few minutes, you'll be sharing your heartfelt answers to the 4 questions. For the second time in this course, the first question asks how your prayers together are making a difference in your marriage. There are a multitude of answers you might give to that question. A few might answer, we don't believe in prayer, so we don't pray. You're free to answer the question this way, and no one will disrespect you for your honest feelings. But if the only reason you don't believe in prayer is because you've never seen it make a difference, why not give prayer a chance for the rest of this class? You may be very surprised how things will turn out so wonderfully different if you do. Some might answer the first question with, well, we believe in prayer, but just haven't gotten around to starting the habit. If this is your honest response, we urge you to discover what other couples have already found. You still have 3 weeks to make this a new habit in your marriage. A few might need to honestly say to the first question, before we took this class, we really didn't think prayer changed much of anything. It just makes you sometimes feel closer to God. But wow, let me tell you about our prayer life and what it's accomplishing in our marriage now. If this statement fits your present situation, please share your answer before the group with all of the enthusiasm and conviction you can muster. The rest of us really need to hear what you have to say. Still others answer the first question this way. Well, we've prayed for our marriage for years, but the dedication to do so every day throughout this course has done wonders for us. If this describes your marriage, we need to hear your story as well. What a great motivation you'll bring to all of us. Whatever your response is, any of the above choices or 1,000 other potential responses, please speak honestly and transparently. You'll be blessed, and so will everyone else if you do. The remaining 3 questions you share in this session will produce some equally powerful responses and reactions, so get ready for a great sharing session. There's just one more item we need to share before you get into the heart of this session. Let's talk about encouragement. We can never receive enough of it. Society blasts us with a daily dose of discouragement in the form of criticism, rejection, ridicule, and harassment. Every week in this class, you have an opportunity to counteract this downward spiral of gloom and doom. Take the opportunity to make a difference in someone's life. How? Whenever your facilitators start applauding for someone, don't just sit there or applaud out of a sense of duty. Show how much you appreciate the person who's willing to put his or her life on the line for your enrichment and growth. A heartfelt applause generates powerful benefits for both the giver and the recipient. During the break or after class, verbally tell people how much you appreciate what they said in class that inspired you to greater heights. Words, when used lovingly, are even more powerful than applause. Finally, during the week, find the time to make a phone call. or send an email, or write a note to someone in your class. Make sure that person receives your word of encouragement before the next class. There's so much positive power available to all of us if we'll just take the time to encourage one another. Have a great sharing session for a few minutes. We'll talk more later in this session.